The state of the Teutonic Order lasted from 1226 to 1561. This state was started by the Catholic military order, the Teutonic Knights, during the Northern Crusades. Its purpose was to give the order a permanent place in Northern Europe as they fought pagans and other groups. This covered present-day Estonia, Latvia, and parts of Russia and Sweden. The Livonian Brothers, another military order, merged with the Teutonic Knights in 1236. This combined the states of Terra Mariana with the state of the Teutonic Order. The state fell into decline after their loss at the Battle of Grunwald in 1410. They became a fief of the Kingdom of Poland in 1466. The state dissolved in 1561. Samo's empire lasted from 631 to 658 in the present-day Czech Republic. Samo was a king that controlled a confederation of Slavic tribes. He had many wives and even more children. Samo would often raid the neighboring Avars and defeated the Frankish kingdom in battle. When he died in 658, the kingdom fell apart and none of his sons ruled after him. The Papal States, or State of the Church, lasted from 756 to 1870. The Frankish king Pepin gave Pope Stephen II a large region in Italy that was captured from the Lombards. This was known as the Donation of Pepin. This served as the start of the Papal States and a centuries-long friendship between the papacy and France. The popes ruled over this region and maintained it just like any other state, even fighting wars and creating military alliances. In 1870, the Papal States were formally defeated by the anti-Catholic king Victor Emmanuel II in the capture of Rome. This was part of a larger war known as the Unification of Italy. The Papal States were seized, except for the Vatican Palace and its grounds. From Pope Pius IX to Pope Pius XI, they would use the title prisoner in the Vatican to protest the newly formed Kingdom of Italy. The Mauro-Roman Kingdom lasted from 477 to 599. During the Roman Empire, it was called Mauritania Caesariensis. With the fall of the western half of the Roman Empire, the Mauro-Roman Kingdom continued to govern itself for a while. The population were Berber Christians who defended themselves against Moors and Vandals. Ultimately, the kingdom fell in 599. Next door was the Kingdom of the Vandals that lasted from 435 to 533. The Vandals were a Germanic tribe that raided the Roman Empire. They found themselves in Spain, fighting and losing to the Visigoths. Another tribe, the Alans, originally from the North Caucasus region, were also losing to the Visigoths. The two tribes joined forces, crossed into North Africa, and established a kingdom. The short-lived kingdom conquered some Italian and Spanish islands, but were defeated by Emperor Justinian I during the Vandal War. King Eldamar surrendered in 533, accepting a Byzantine estate in modern-day Turkey, thus ending the Vandal kingdom. The North Sea Empire was from 1013 to 1042. This included England, Norway, and Denmark. King Sven Forkbeard was a Danish-born son of the Viking king Harald Bluetooth. He conquered England in 1013, but died only a year later. His son, Canute the Great, was a just and powerful ruler, second only to the Holy Roman Emperor. The North Sea Empire also exerted influence over Ireland and Scotland. After Canute's death in 1035, his son, Canute III, became the king. It took him a few years to consolidate power, re-establishing the empire. He was viewed in his time as a poor ruler, and the empire came to an end with his death in 1042. The county of Sicily was from 1071 to 1130. This includes the islands of Sicily, the islands of Malta, and Calabria. Normans from present-day France joined Lombard and Byzantine forces, initially as mercenaries, against the Moorish-controlled states. The Hautevils, a Norman family of minor nobility, joined in on the wars. The patriarch of the family, Tancred de Hauteville, was a brilliant leader and tactician. His many sons, like Robert Guiscard, were also equally as skilled. Their army eventually defeated all of the Lombard, Byzantine, and Moorish troops, completely taking over southern Italy. They even formed a strong alliance with the papacy. The kings of Sicily, Roger, Simon, and Roger II, were all from the Hauteville family. The kingdom attempted to expand into Byzantine territory to the east with some success. By 1130, King Roger the Great merged the county of Sicily with the lands to the north, forming the Kingdom of Sicily. He also conquered a large portion of North Africa. However, the Hautevilles were replaced by the Hohenstaufen dynasty in 1198. This kingdom would end in 1816. The Latin Empire existed from 1204 to 1261. After the Latin Crusaders conquered Constantinople in 1204, they decided to install their own leaders from Western Europe. Even before the Latin rulers, the empire was in severe decline, suffering from material and food shortages. The situation did not improve. Many of the emperors requested aid from Western Europe to alleviate the problems. They even dismantled churches and buildings for lead and other building materials. To their east, the Empire of Nicaea continued to be ruled by Byzantine nobility in exile. Emperor Michael VIII took back Constantinople in 1261, ending the Latin Empire. The Republic of Ragusa was from 1358 to 1808. Dalmatia was part of the Roman Empire. After its fall, the Roman people joined with the nearby Slavic tribes to form what would be called Ragusa. This maritime republic was one of the rivals of Venice. The Venetians conquered Ragusa, forcing them to pay tribute. After the Treaty of Zadar in 1358, the Republic of Venice gave up its control of the region. The Republic swore an allegiance to King Louis I of Hungary, who helped them to gain independence. Soon after, the Croatians tried to conquer the Republic but failed. In 1403, they won a war against the Bosnians and outlawed slavery in 1416. By 1458, they were paying a large amount of gold to the Ottoman Empire as tribute. Under the protection of the Ottomans, they were successful traders, even becoming more prosperous than Venice. However, the Age of Exploration moved more trade to the New World and less to the Mediterranean. Ragusa also suffered a devastating earthquake in 1667. Later, the Republic found itself paying tribute to the Habsburgs as the Ottoman Empire's power decreased. In 1805, the Republic lost to the Napoleonic forces. They were incorporated into the French Empire in 1808. The Khazar Khaganate existed from 650 to 969. Its location was in present-day southern Ukraine, Crimea, and Kazakhstan. Khazaria may have been the most successful kingdom in trade during its time. Few documents and references to Khazaria remain today. The people were mostly nomadic Turkic. The upper class converted to Judaism, while the lower class were a mix of Christians, Muslims, Tengris, pagans, and Buddhists. They traded with the Byzantine Empire, the Umayyad Caliphate, and other kingdoms. Eventually, the Rus of the north allied themselves with the enemies of Khazaria. Svatoslav I, the Prince of Kiev, destroyed their capital city Atil in 969, bringing an end to the Khazar Khaganate. The Kingdom of Brittany lasted from 851 to 939. In the 4th century, the Roman Emperor Magnus Maximus established a colony with Breton soldiers in Gaul. This would be known as Brittany, or Little Britain. The Bretons were from present-day southwest England. Their first king was Conan Meriadoc. A century later, another wave of Bretons crossed into Brittany to avoid the Anglo-Saxon settlers. Among these were the 7 founder saints. Each of these monks founded their own city. To this day, Bretons celebrate these saints with the Trobriz, a pilgrimage to each city that takes a week to complete. In the early 9th century, the Frankish kingdom went to war with Brittany. The Franks were able to get Brittany under their control by appointing the Breton nobleman Nomino, the Duke of Brittany. The kingdom still had some independence, but was formally under the rule of the Franks. The next duke, Arispo, revolted against the Franks, declaring himself the King of Brittany in 851. By 874, the kingdom was split into 3 due to a civil war. At the same time, they faced Viking raids and attacks from the Franks. The Vikings completely took over Brittany by 919. In 935, Alan Twistedbeard rallied the Bretons against the Vikings, eventually gaining the support of the Franks. He expelled all Vikings from Brittany and gained the title Duke of Brittany from King Louis IV of France. Even though it was a short-lived kingdom, Brittany is still a part of France and has maintained its unique history and culture.